I feel like this is one of the most, maybe not most beloved maps, but I feel like we see this all the time, especially in Splat Zones events.
Yeah, it's a very universal stage map combination. Of that, there is no doubt. You know, it's a relatively straightforward one. Obviously, fitness being one of the first that batch of first stages that came out into the game. So it's really not gone anywhere, has it? So we're gonna see both teams spawning in. We're gonna see a junior on both sides of the field. No surprise there. And we're also gonna have ourselves a Kenza to go alongside that junior on the left.
A little bit of sloshing machine Neo as well. That's not a weapon that you see too often. I know that anytime that someone uses it, it's very, very fun to go with any sort of bomb rush. And I feel like now, especially with the Sorella Brella getting stronger, at least seeing more play, we are starting to see bomb rush start to take control, or at least the suction or bomb rush was in the past. But this one maybe a little different, as we see already pretty dominating control from one team.
Yeah, already we got the ones in the green already off to a pretty good start. But not in the right position for that Spratling, and gonna get caught out by the Kenza. As a result, Camo pushes all the way forward and now gonna quickly rotate back as they realize the zone is going against them. Does have the bomb launcher ready to go if they want to pop it. Looks like they're gonna hold on to it, but you should have thought about it and traded with the Glugas in the end.
Rough trade there, and that earlier sequence there was kind of interesting. Sometimes when you dive out to get that last pick, you give up maybe a little bit more positioning than you think, and sometimes that can mean that the zone comes back the other way. But credit the team here in the pink and purple for being able to work their way back through in the way they did.
Yep, Adepts unfortunately pinned down in the corner, can't really go any further forward than that, as we're going to see it 47-92. And they're going to be right back into control as Stolty quickly retreats from the missiles. And obviously the rest of the team will now know exactly where she is, having the fact that it is it's kind of like a part echolocator, really, the missiles.
Part echolocator, and when you have someone who's throwing a lot of point sensors out, it almost seems like it is an echolocator of sorts. But again, great job here on Miss Salty, moving through, playing that junior game that I think at this point, people have kind of moved away from the junior hate. It did change, now it's on over to NZAP, but at the very least, there's a lot of people who know how to play junior now, and that's always nice when you play on Splat Zones.
It certainly is, and now they're going to utilize the long range of the Splatling. Also, he has the Booyah Bomb, but so too does the enemy, and they're going to throw it straight at them, force the pair of them to quickly rotate backwards. Gonna somehow keep the zone though, and now Arthur has a Booyah of their own, which they will pop. Will they be able to hold this? It looks like they might just about hold on to the zone, although they are going to go down to the grenade. That was unfortunate.
They had done such a great job of holding through all of that, throwing away one Booyah Bomb, painting over that, and then getting their own Booyah Bomb out for a rogue Splat Bomb to be what really broke that down. To quote the classic cliche, you hate to see it.
Yes, you absolutely do, and as the penalty points tick away, Adapt and I have to quickly retreat out of the way of another Booyah Bomb. Gonna pop the end combo and come straight back up into the middle. Does get the spot on Milk. Can they get the second on the Slosher? They do. Looking for that tasty triple. It looks like they're just gonna slip away from them. And actually does get the spot against them at the end. Good play, Lily.
Yeah, great play by Lily there, and holding this zone there. I actually thought with 2 down that might have been a loss of the zone, but when one that's up is the junior, and when you're getting a jump back, you know you're going to be able to hold through. Great work right there. A nice back and forth game. I think that sets the tone well for what the rest of this might be.
It certainly will be, and do remember that in the first stages of this Swiss, in fact, all of our 6 rounds exist will be contested under best of 3 situations. And like the fact that Lily and Alice both having 11 splats on their name, so clearly being able to work beautifully with each other.
Right, taking a look here, we have tower control on Manta Maria up next, and Manta Maria is a map that I've kind of come full circle on. When it first came out, it was back when I think short range was really dominant. So I thought, okay, this is a map where finally long range can make it work. And then it started to get too dominated and I started to hate it. And now I'm just kind of back to, it's a fine map. It's okay. And I think that tower control, maybe it's best. And you won't hear me say that very often.
Well, to be fair, the past few matches that I've been seeing on Manta have been Clan Blitz, so I will gladly take tower control, a bit more of a dedicated path rather than a free-for-all. But having said that, we have seen how chaotic tower control can be on Manta. Obviously, it is a very narrow stage as it is, so the fact that it can be quite easy to just suddenly just push on through down into that right in front of the spawn area, which is essentially where you need to take the tower, and you either get the KO or the team will stop you, and then you'll spend the rest of the match trying to get back there.
Right. All the super jumps. This is one of the maps where you can still definitely chain it. And to build off something you said there, I totally agree. This is an aggressor favoring map. You have so many ways that you can attack when you're starting to make your push in. So I'm eager to see what these teams have cooked up for this one.
Yep, looks like they're both going to come out with the Splatling remix. We're going to see an N-Zap on both sides, but crucially, a little bit different of the N-Zaps. Ink armor on the left and missiles on the right.
Yeah, well, I think if you really do love the Kensa Glugas, then you're trusting that that's going to be enough armor, but things can spiral out of control in a hurry, and great work there. Already moving into what was a really dominating position. You know, it appears here that Miss Salty and the rest of the squad, maybe Splat Zones wasn't what was working for them. Maybe they prefer to attack, and that's exactly what they're doing so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, they had a 4-1 advantage right at the start, and even though they've lost the N-Zap, the Booyah is going to pretty much make sure they get past this checkpoint, and they have to quickly move out of the way of that suction bomb. Not going to get caught out on this occasion, as Lily comes in with the range. Can they get the little surprise on the dualies? No, they cannot. Adapt held on.
Glugas are one of those weapons that it feels like whenever you get caught off guard by them, you just have to hope that they miss. That time, Adept did not do that, and already marching through that second checkpoint onto the third. Nope's going to have to find one here as we have a Splatling battle. I believe that was either Lily or Eris who flanked around behind there to close this one down, but you said it earlier, spending the rest of the match just trying to get back. 25 is a fantastic push for this early.
It certainly is, and a minute and a half pretty much played. They're finally getting it back towards the middle, and whilst they are starting to lose a couple of players here, Tamara is going to get back into the fray ASAP, and obviously the N-Zap will charge up that special ASAP, but already look at that, 3-2 advantage here for the time being, and points on the board, which is absolutely crucial, and the Booyah Bomb is going to come in and ensure they get to the first checkpoint.
First checkpoint down, moving up, and this is the real question. You see that Eris has moved up and had to back up immediately. I like the fact that they sent 2 people to immediately engage the opponents who are coming out of spawn up to the top. If they can close down on this Glugas, this might be a really big push, but you see, so pesky, so difficult to hit. It took a lot of resources to get rid of that.
Yep, Nava now trying to think about whether or not they want to go for this 1v1. They are going to get past the second checkpoint, finally gets the splat when it mattered most. But can they start bringing this back? No, they can't. They're still moving forward here.
Forward to hold on just a few more, and they do get through it. And the survivability of the frontliners to stay on the tower and allow the jumps to come back in. It's an element of the game that isn't always talked about, but staying alive for just long enough allowed them to turn a 1v1 into what was essentially a 3v2 and split spawn. Great work right there, back and forth already. These teams are putting on a show so far.
They certainly are. Sometimes it always comes down to how quickly you can get back into position, and it's like all you need to do is have one person who can stall for as long as possible, and that can mean the difference. With 2 minutes left on the clock, Salty is in literal no man's land there, and finally does get caught up by Lily. Tower back in the middle.
That was great. I think they sent somebody right up street there in the front, and then at the same time had Lily come around behind. That's the flank that's the worst, because if you run away from the flank, you just run into their original attack, and if you run away from that, then there's the flank. That's exactly how it should look. Great execution.
So there's Lily gonna win the 1v1, gets them in the air, can't get Adept though, who rolls on by. And this will give them a chance to hopefully defend the rest of this. Has to, doesn't actually roll out the way. I thought they were just on the outskirts of it, but the Booyah Bomb actually still caught them.
Still caught them, and again, just more stalling, getting closer to a minute left on the clock here. Still plenty of time, but this is where tower control really kind of bites, and I don't think Eris saw that auto bomb, the rogue chicken coming in there to take that one out. And that's really what they needed. I was about to say that in these situations, you really do need to have a 3 or 4 down situation so that you can get set up properly. Every moment is crucial now, and getting something like that might be the catalyst for what could be a great push.
Yeah, sometimes it could be just mistakes, simple little mistakes like that can be the difference between holding on for the lead and now having to defend for your lives. 45 seconds on the clock. The tower is starting to finally go back towards the middle. Iris with the missiles pretty much charged. That suction bomb will likely give them that little bit. I think they fired 2 missiles just on the left-hand side and quickly hops on as they get a double splat. Arthur with the missiles, Adept with the actual weapon.
It appears that anything that is not an auto bomb is no threat to Eris right now. She is playing great, leading up mid. Lily pushed up all the way here. This might be the furthest I've ever seen Lily pushed up ever. And it does get taken out there as a result, but with just 10 seconds left at this point, build up a Booyah Bomb, get through this game, and it does appear that they've got what's necessary. Well, two do get taken down. Might have to back up here, but Adept needs to get to the tower. They do get somebody over there in time, and now no room for error, Layla.
Yeah, unfortunately it was a bit of a mistake. The Remix used their Booyah Bomb pretty early before and didn't hold it to overtime. So, and look at this, it's a 4-1 advantage. It's a wipe. It's a wipe. We're gonna see the comeback happen in overtime. You can see the entirety of the green just finally starting to come out now, and Adept has to push. Tamaro coming out with the missiles. The point center is finally going to take down one. Booyah Bomb needs to make sure they go back on the tower. That's one. Arva's the only one left that they're holding up a dear life, but finally go down. And they somehow hold on.
They were up against 3 specials there at the end. I'm not sure how they were able to sneak through. I think maybe a bomb got on tower. I think the Salty went down a little bit early in that, and that might have been what did it. You take a look right there, some fantastic numbers for everyone here in this match, but that was so scary. I was starting to sweat a little bit there. That really looked like it was going to go the distance.